In this video clip, we're going to look at reverse parking, so the parallel park exercise. It's part of PST number 6, but it's the phase 2 stage. So it's the only phase 2 that may require a brief. Okay, and it only depends on what the examiner says to you on how much of a brief you'll give. It might be a full-on brief, it could be just a bit of Q&A. It all depends on the level of the student that he's playing. So a few different scenarios would be a trained learner, but they've never done the manoeuvre before. They've done every other manoeuvre, but they've not done this one. Okay, so then you would give them a full brief if they've not done it before. It might be the case that they're a trained learner. They've had maybe an attempt at this last week, but it didn't go very well. So they're going to recap it again today. So that's again a situation where it becomes a lot more Q&A rather than a full-on brief. And likewise, if it's a full licence holder, you could get a situation where, you know, they've got a licence, but they've never actually parked the car properly. They've got no idea what they're actually looking for. So again, a bit more sort of a full-on brief there, but you know, elements of questions that they could relate to. And likewise, another case would be that they just need to practice at it. Had a licence for years, they're just rubbish at parallel parking, which many people are. So they decided to come to an instructor to kind of sort that out. So listening to the examiner, finding out some information will determine how much detail you go into on the brief. Okay, I'm going to give you a demonstration on a full brief. Okay, so then if you know how to do the full brief, you can then sort of pick and choose a little bit on where to adapt that depending on the level of the student. Okay, so if you know how to do the whole lot, you can then adjust it and tailor it. Okay, so I'm going to give you a demonstration of that. Well, imagine we've done the formalities. I've asked him a few questions and we've established that he needs a full brief. Okay, so I'm going to go straight into actually just delivering that brief. Okay, and we'll take it from there. Okay, right then, John. So parallel parking. Okay, so you've not done this before. It's your first attempt at it. Ah, yeah, it is, yeah. Right then, so you've done all the other manoeuvres, haven't you? Yeah, I've done all the other ones. Right then, so the same things apply. We've got the observation, the control, and the accuracy. Okay, observation, control, and accuracy. That's the kind of main things that we have with all the manoeuvres. Okay, and also we have the purpose location of each manoeuvre as well. So with the other manoeuvres, what were you looking for when you're choosing a place to do it? Oh, safe, legal, and what was the other one? Oh, I can't remember. Convenient. Yes, that's it. Yeah, safe, legal, and convenient. Okay. So we've got to think about that as we sort of go and deliver, pick that situation to park the car. So we're always looking at a safe, legal, and convenient place. So can you give me examples where you wouldn't reverse park your car? Double yellow lines. That's right. Yeah, double lines would be illegal, wouldn't it? Maybe a bus stop. Yeah, that would be a situation where you wouldn't park. There might be a line of cars and a space where the bus would be parking in the bus stop, so you wouldn't put your car in there. But places you would do it would be kind of in the town, for instance, because if you're trying to put your car into a small space, that's where we do it. And that leads on to the purpose of it. So, you know, that's exactly it. What's the purpose of this manoeuvre? That's it. You put your car into a small space. So you need a much bigger space to drive into than you would to reverse into. Okay, so that's little things to be aware of. Now imagine that, you know, at the moment it looks like we're the blue car, because you can see the target vehicle in front of us there, can't you? Aye, yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull out from here and drive into the situation alongside the target vehicle. But in real life, you wouldn't be parked, you would be on the road. So if you're kind of driving forward here and you see the space that you want to park in, how would you let other people know what you would want to do? I'll probably signal. Okay, good, yeah. And how would you know if there was someone behind you? Well, check your mirrors. Okay, excellent. So as you're driving into the space or into the situation where you want to park your car, you need to find out what's behind you. So if there's a car behind you, yeah, you could then activate your brake lights. Yeah, so you're slowing down. As you're passing the space, you could then pop your signal on. Okay, so he knows then that you're planning on maybe pulling over to the left. So that encourages him to back off a little bit. And then as soon as you stop, you would go into towards reverse gear. So you've had your brake lights, you've had your indicator, now your reverse lights are on. So that all gives the guy that's following behind you information on that you're going to start to reverse into that space. So that's quite an important part of it. Okay, so you've got to think of then the starting position, how far from the target vehicle you want to be. So as the diagram suggests, you want to be 2 to 3 feet away from the target vehicle, and then the nose of the car slightly ahead. So can you see the set line of the road there at the moment? The dark line in the middle of the road. So the space between the car and the scent line is about 2 feet. Okay, so that's what we're going to use. We want to, if you can get the scent line lined up in the middle of the window, your normal parking position. So instead of the curb, you're using the scent line. That'll give you a good distance from the car. Now that's not always going to work because you'll get different sizes of the road. Okay, so but you're about 2 to 3 feet depending on the situation. And if you've got room for cars to go past you, if it's quite a wide road, you want to try and encourage cars to go past you so you don't hold them up. So again, 2 feet is much more likely than 3 feet, because you're 3 feet, you're going to block the whole road. So it all really depends, and that's where you have to kind of make that assessment. You're going to make that judgment on whether 2 feet or 3 feet would be the best thing to use. And you want to be slightly past it. So we don't want you looking at the nose of the car or the end of it there. Okay, if you look there, you'll go there. So keep your eyes forward, keep looking forward, but glance. You can use the side of your eye to just make sure that you're slightly past the target vehicle. Something you can use is a mirror to line up with the nose of the vehicle. But like I said, we don't want you looking there. Yeah, if you try and stare and line up the mirror, you're not looking forward. Okay, so you got to keep your eyes forward, and it doesn't really matter how far past you are, as long as you're not a full car length past, you're just going slightly past. So again, you make that assessment, you make that judgment of being slightly past the vehicle. Happy with that? Yeah, that's fine. So once you've stopped, in position, straight into reverse gear. Okay, put your handbrake on as well if you're on a hill, so it doesn't roll off anywhere. And then we're ready to go back. So before you move off, what would you do? What would you normally do in any other mover? I would look around. Okay, so forward observations. Yeah, so we need to make sure we check our right shoulder first and work our way around to the left shoulder, because which way do we want to look when we go backwards? Well, out the back window. Exactly. Okay, so right shoulder all the way around, back window on the left shoulder, making sure it's safe. And if it is safe, we're going to drive the car back from position 2 in towards position 3, so we get to the point of turn. So the back end of your vehicle is slightly past the back end of the target vehicle. And if you go down to this diagram here, it'll look something like that. Yeah, you'll see the end of the vehicle in the side window, the rear side window. And I'm going to get you a point where it's going to be right for you. So I'll tell you when to stop, and then we'll pick a point that's right for you, so you get your own reference point from there. Okay, so once we stop, we're going to start to turn. Now, which way do you think you're going to turn? I always get confused with this. Well, which side is the space on? The left side. Okay, so if you want to put your space, if the space is on the left side, you want to then turn to the left, because you want the car to go to the left. Oh yeah, that's right actually. So we're going to turn to the left, and we put one full turn to the left hand side. Okay, so once we've checked it's safe, one full turn onto the left, and the car will start to bend in towards position 4. As it starts to come round, you'll look at the back window and you'll notice the curb will actually move across the window and disappear. Now, it depends on the person how quickly it disappears. Okay, so that's something to bear in mind. But when it disappears, we need to think about a 45-degree angle. So if you imagine 12 o'clock being at the top, 3 o'clock being at the side, we want something in between. Okay, so we want that 45-degree angle. Okay, so 12 and 3 is your 90, so you're looking at 1:30, something like that on the clock face. So you can glance forward, and I'll help you with that judgment to get that 45-degree angle. But once we do get it, we're going to straighten our wheels. Okay, so a second. So So once we do that, we're going to straighten up. Okay, that gives us the 45-degree angle. Okay, so we've got our wheel straight, we take that one turn back off. And that gives us that position 4. And from there, we need to come back towards the curb. Okay, so this is where it gets a bit tricky and a bit more judgment comes into it on how far back to go. But your car wants to be about halfway down the camber. Okay, the back end of your vehicle will be about halfway down the camber. And I'm going to give you again a wee bit of help and support with that, and we'll see if we can find a reference for you to then start to steer. Quite often you can see the lights on the off side of the vehicle lining up with your mirror on the passenger side. Okay, but that doesn't always work, but we'll see if that works for you. We can have a look at it. But once you get that, we put that one turn back on to the right. So we've gone left, we've taken it back off to straighten up, and now we go to the right. Okay, and that's going to bring the back end away from the curb and lining up with the car behind you, if there's a car there. If there is no car behind you, you'll see the curb in the middle of the back window, just like your straight line reverse. Where was your straight line reverse reference? Oh yeah, it was in the middle of the back window. Okay, so you'll see the curb in the middle of the back window as it comes back, or you can just line it up with the car that's behind you, and then as it comes round, you straighten up your wheels again and you stop. Okay, so a quick recap: we've got 3 markers or 3 references. The car in the side window, yeah, and I'll get you a point for that, whereabouts in the window. 1 turn to the left. We have 45 degrees, okay, and I'm going to help you with that as well, and we straighten up, and then we come back towards the curb, and again we might be looking for the lights on the offside lining up with the mirror, and we put the 1 turn back on to the right. So left to go in, straighten out, and right to come out. Okay, and then we straighten that back when it gets straight. So any questions with that? Does that all make sense to you? I think so, aye. So there, that's a wee sort of demonstration on how you would deliver that brief if it was a kind of full brief. Yeah. Other things from there would be again just Q&A. So you might just ask them questions about it. Where would they look? How would they control the car? What references did they have before? You know, the other guy might have given them something, and it might not be quite right. So, you know, that's something to listen for. And you know, the more questions that you ask, the more information that you're going to get. But yeah, if he's never done it before, that's something that you're going to do. And then, you know, when you get good at doing that, you can then, you know, tailor it and pick and choose what bits of information you would maybe miss out, or what bits of information you would maybe make in with that. Okay. And that'll be that.